Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm Harvey Freed, and to the side right of me, the incredible Becky Alley.
What is going on, everybody? And if you're joining us on Facebook Live, you're going to see that our studio's under construction. We're getting a little bit of a facelift up in here.
Yeah, man, this is some cool stuff, though. I guess in the future, they're going to have all the cool awards behind you, and we love an improvement. It's a real construction zone. And special guest today, there he is, Evan Santini. Hey, Evan.
Hey, how's it going, Harvey?
It's going great, man. Thanks a lot for coming in. Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate Office. Evan and I have known each other for a couple years, but just this year, Evan, we were able to get together on a couple great transactions. We're going to share a little bit of that and all the excitement here that's going on in Southeast Michigan. Real estate is booming.
Yes, it's been crazy. The first 6 months of this year was actually insane. It was a huge jump to the market, and definitely, I mean, January was slow, and then towards the end of January, it really picked up big time. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool watching what happened because, as you know, Harvey, this is my first year back into it. I took a little break, and
you took a siesta?
Yes, I took a little siesta, and I was not expecting this. I was expecting a slower market, and we came back in. It was crazy. I mean, the first offer I wrote was end of January to a good friend of mine, and the house ended up going, I think, $65,000 over list value.
All right. Well, hey, the deal we worked, they got it at list price. So
yes,
you're the man to go to on that.
We went. Me and Harvey, our first deal we did was a Plymouth deal, I believe, right?
Yeah.
We were within.
Love Plymouth. It's beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was a steal. What did she $215? She got that for the property for, and the house was move-in ready, finished basement, and she got a couch in the basement too.
And doing a couch. You'd be like, buy this house, you get a couch.
Better than always those couches outside in the garbage or anything. First-time home buyers. Actually, we touched on two of them. So the two transactions we did this year, of course, we're both first-time home buyers. A lot of education involved. We did the one Mishta transaction.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool. You help a young family out there, like 2 or 3 kids. And then the young lady, she's off and running in her career, doing great. Got a really cute condo, a 3-story, right?
3-story condo, yeah, 2-bed, 1.5 bath, great attached garage. I mean, it's a cute community. I am just shocked that we got it off the market when it was only on the market a couple days.
Well, like what you're describing though is like you just took us on a little bit of a journey, right? Just talking about that, the real estate market, those that are in the market right now, it's not one thing. It is all of the things. It was a moment in time in January where people were, catching their breath over this sudden increase of interest rates. Then people kind of got over that pause. And then it was, you can get concessions. It was at asking. It's under asking. It's over asking. It all just depends on the desirability of the home and days on market. And the days on market, are contingent upon, how much, sweat equity does someone have to put into that house? And all that kind of goes into effect with what's happening. But at the end of the day, though, the reality is that it doesn't matter what these interest rates are. People are trying to say that the interest rates are their biggest hindrance of what's keeping them from buying. But we're in a housing crisis, and the lack of inventory is going to continue to make this housing market be as accelerated as what you're talking about, where we're not going to see the slowdown because there's not enough inventory for it to slow down. No matter what the interest rates are, we're going to see this continuous stressful buyer fatigue a little bit, because it's been a seller's market for a really long time.
I don't think we're going to see a difference either, because the second the Fed starts dropping interest rates, what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. Demand's going to continue to rise, and we're going to continue to see more and more buyers come to the market and not enough sellers. And it's just, I think it's going to be like this for a while.
Yeah, mortgage rates at a 9-month high now. So if you didn't like the interest rates, a few months ago or even 3 weeks ago, they're even a little bit higher. But Becky, it's not stopping our first-time home buyers, the smart people out there who understand how the equity position works. Families out there who even bought, let's say 4, 5, 6 years ago, they've got a bundle of equity. Their families have gotten a little larger. They want to move into a different school district. They're taking advantage of this incredible marketplace. And again, with a lot of knowledge, having the right team together, you can put that transaction together and get your family into the next step up house.
For sure. Like 2 things on that one, right? So the people that are renting, I just was talking about this with someone yesterday. The reality is that you have these people, and we talk about it on the air a lot because it's true. You have people from the outside coming in. You have people like Red Door buying, blocks at a time. You have investors from other states because Michigan is one of the more affordable states still. So you have these people that are coming in, rents are going up higher. So now it's to the point where rent is becoming unaffordable. So then you have, the individuals that are like, well, I can't afford this $2,500 rent anymore. So I'm going to go now look for this $150,000 house. And they're understanding that hesitation for them to invest in themselves, it's now important more so than ever for them to get into their own home, because now they're in control. They don't have to get the 30-day notice and say, hey, oh my gosh, I have not been working on myself. I've not been working on my financials. And now I have to buy a house in 30 days because I just got the letter from my landlord that's either A, increasing my rent, or B, if it's in a house, I want to sell it because, like you just talked about, I want to now take advantage of, the sellers are trying to take advantage of the equity in their home, and they just want to unload their portfolio a little bit, make room for other things. So there's so many different scenarios, but the one scenario that you can control is the one that you do for yourself, and investing in yourself, so that way you can make sure you're set.
I'm going to give out the number real quick, 248-539-9797. Hey, we got the Woodward Dream Cruise, of course, happening all around Southeast Michigan here. You see the cars everywhere. I'm fired up. I think God really blessed us today. Look at this weather we're going to have for the Dream Cruise. Of course, 90-degree weather plus the cars overheat. This is ideal weather. Maybe are we in the best area and the least expensive or most affordable place in the country? Maybe we are. Maybe we just are. Maybe Michigan,
one of them, for sure,
is going to be the next boom. And folks, get in there and call some real estate agents. Maybe our houses aren't overpriced, Evan. I'm going to say it. Yesterday, I had a young buyer in, and I think the price was about $270, and I sort of heard some background noise that, maybe parents were a little scared. I'm scared too if it was my kid. But truly, at the end of the day, when we walked out of that closing, we heard all the great things about this house that he was getting, all about this great neighborhood. And at the end of the day, it's pretty affordable here to buy in Michigan.
No, I agree. I mean, at $270, if that's your starter home, that's a great price point to be in. Anything under $300 is kind of where our starter homes are at nowadays. I mean, 5 years ago, anything under $250, but now we've kind of went up a little bit in price, and I think it's been great so far for us, and continuing to grow in this market.
Mm-hmm. And the truth is, so we're national. So Capital Mortgage Funding, we're very boutique, right? So you can sit across from me, and I can shake your hand, and we can do your mortgage application face to face. We do it online. We can email, whatever is best for you. But we're also a national company, meaning that we can lend in all 50 states, and you don't feel that because you're going to be able to talk to us. But when I'm talking to my people nationally, we are one of the few states that you can get lake property under $1 million. When you say that out loud, people are like, are you crazy? Like, I'm trying to buy a house on a lake here, and wherever there's whatever state they're living in, and they're like, it's in North Carolina, South Carolina, it's $1 million plus. And we have so many lakes in Michigan that you can get lakefront property, lake access property. You can be 50 feet away and look at the lake, and it's under $1 million. And that's a beautiful thing that we take for granted here in Michigan, I feel like.
And Gav, go ahead. I know you're on the water too.
I'm
man.
on the water.
Yeah.
I've sold actually
Think
3
about
houses
it.
on the water this year so far. And the most recent closing I had was actually yesterday. They got a Steel All Sports Lake. It's like I think 150 acre all sports small lake. It's private. $375 for a 3-bed, 2-bath house with a 2-car garage, 1,600 square feet. Yes, it needs to be renovated, but the price says it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Another
a really
one
low price.
2 weeks ago was $335 on over a half-acre lot with this was a smaller private lake and no engine lake, but it was so clean. I mean, there's just so much happening. Then obviously the one on Portage Lake too. That one was, Portage Lake. It's a huge lake. It's
awesome.
It's a chain of lakes. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that one was $515. That was beautiful.
There's opportunities all around Southeast Michigan.
Don't sleep on Michigan like you don't sleep on the Lions.
We're going to be
Not
talking
this
about
year,
that.
not this year.
No, don't sleep on us.
All right, we're going to take all your calls, of course, all morning long. We're with Evan Santini from Anthony John Luxury Real Estate, 248-539-9797. Let's go to our first caller of the day. Can we go to him? We got Eric up on the phone. Good morning, Eric. Good morning. And what's your question, please?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
My question is this. I'm not sure what to do. Here's my situation. So I have a home. It's in Canton. I have some good equity. My mortgage has about 13 years remaining, and my rate's 2.65. I've tossed around the idea of selling and buying something new, maybe upgrade. But the reality is, even if I was to double the purchase price and buy something, I can't find something That would make sense right now, just because of the interest rates and where my equity is, and so I'm thinking I'm going to stay here in the long term. Now, here's the question. Oh, since COVID, I developed a couple bad credit card debts, personal loan. So I've been researching: should I transfer, let's say, $40K in a home equity loan? And then somebody was saying do a cash out refi, but then I would lose that rate. Even if I went down to like a 15-year term or a 10-year term, my payment would kind of explode. But a home equity loan I thought offered, a good payment, and they could do a 10-year term. So I'm just trying to get an idea of what to do here with you guys have any thoughts or suggestions on that?
Yeah. I mean, so everyone's situation is different. And, there's a lot of conversations about home equity lines of credit. And those, to be honest with you, have been more directly impacted by what the Fed has been doing with raising the interest rates than even your standard mortgage rate. So if you, we do home equity lines of credit too. So there's really no loan that we can't do. So we're definitely going to get into the specifics with you. But a home equity line, you're going to be pretty shocked. I mean, you're looking at double-digit interest rate on that kind of on that kind of consolidation. Yes. So now I have a couple situations where I've done a home equity line for someone and then they had a similar interest rate with you, like as you, but the overall savings after we got rid of the credit cards, it made more sense for them to do the cash out refinance because yes, if you just don't pay attention to the interest rate that you're paying. But if you're, once you average out all those interest rates that you're paying, like the 20%, the 25%, the 16%, all that equates to very high minimum payments that you're not going anywhere with. And the story that you're talking about is very relevant. So many people have gotten to those situations during COVID where if you weren't considered like what was it?
Essential?
Yeah, essential. Yeah, yep. So if you weren't essential, you got stuck getting laid off and things like that. So you're in those situations. So I would say that it could go either way, but a lot of people hold so much weight on their current interest rate and they don't hesitate to pay the 20-30% average in their other credit card payments. And it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I got a feeling that 10-year fixed, maybe if you get a fixed term on a home equity line, that could be the way to go. I like that. There's no prepayment penalty on it. But again, we would put all the numbers together for you, Eric, and let's find out what makes more sense for you. But I love the call. And sure. If you do hang out, you don't even have to sell the place as much as we want that inventory out there. I mean, you might be sitting on just a gold mine out there where you can rent that property in the future. So who knows?
Yeah, someone told me go ahead and put this on the market, rent it for $2,500 to pay both the mortgage you have remaining and a home equity fixed loan on 10 years, and they said it would pay that clear and then just get another mortgage on another property. But then again, you're in the situation of bad interest rates on a new home loan, and it's kind of like what to do here, Well, maybe I just pay the debt aggressively without a loan. I don't know. But yeah, if you guys want to call me.
Well, definitely. So I just want to comment on something you said. The truth is that these are not bad interest rates. You just got really lucky with a really good interest rate when there was a moment in time you either took advantage of it or you didn't. And so if you compare the two, I mean, it's all about perspective. Right now, the rates are where they were maybe early 2000s, but they're still historically low in the grand scheme of things. So the rates right now are not bad, but in comparison to what you have, of course, it's easy to kind of go down that road in that rabbit hole. But we'll for sure give you a call after the show. We're going to run both scenarios so that way we can make an educated decision on what works best for you and how we can build your real estate portfolio and kind of just take you down the road a little bit.
Hey, thanks for the call, Eric.
Thanks, guys. Okay.
I thank you. We'll follow up with that. 248-539-9797. We got a break coming up here, but when we come back, we definitely want to hear from you. If you're cruising, getting your way out to Woodward, give us a call here live in the studio. Again, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back. All righty, welcome back to the show. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We are powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, equal housing lender. You can catch us at Capital Mortgage all week long, all weekend long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. For over 32 plus years, give us a call at Capital Mortgage. You're going to get great service and some professional opinions and advice, and we'll set you up for success. Becky, there's so many people out there that truly need to put those really strong teams together. It's so much fun when you get a great real estate agent like Evan, and you're working together to make this happen for a family. Again, still extremely competitive out there. Evan mentioned earlier, Ev, you're right on the money. If these rates do drop next year, the year after, whenever that is, there's going to be a lot more buyers out there, a lot more competition, and drives the price up even further.
Yeah, we are hustling Monday through Friday, Friday through Sunday, 365 around here. If our clients are needing us, we have to be available, because the reality is that we're not 9 to 5. And if you're working with someone that is 9 to 5, you need to pivot away from them, because truth be told is that, we have to be available when you guys are not working.
Yeah.
Our listeners, our buyers, our, whoever, right, is, you get out of work at 5 o'clock and you're working, or it's a Saturday, Sunday, you're working with the agent. Like even right before we came live, one of my real estate agents I work with all the time reached out to me and was like, Becky, we're going to write. Where's this pre-approval letter at? And I was able to finish it up right here at the studio. I mean, so there's things that we have to be accommodating for, because we can't be the one that's going to be the weakest link. And the reality, as far as the rates go, they really have been our friend. There was this moment in time, like our previous caller, where if you took advantage of it, good for you. Like you got these historically low rates. We're probably never going to see them ever again. Would I like to see them again? Maybe. I don't know if we'll see them in our lifetime, but if you got that lower rate, good for you. But you cannot put all your eggs in that basket while you are driving yourself into a financial horrible disposition, because everything else is so high and you're sitting on this equity in your home that you could really utilize to balance your portfolio out completely. So think about that. But when the rates do drop, you are going to see an even more of an influx coming in. And the reality is this: people are going to brag about their interest rate, but they're never going to brag about the fact that they paid $100,000 over asking when they got that interest rate. They're not the same. So if you take a little bit of a higher interest rate and you're getting your payment and the at a market value of the current home, good for you, because at the end of the day, we are going to see rates pull back a little bit. Now, how much, we don't know, but we are going to see a little bit of a refi boom. This is a cycle. We've seen it before. They're setting the stage. The last 10 years has been a refinance boom. All those subprime to early 2000 mortgages, they've been off into the distance now at this point. If you lived under a rock and you still have that 80-20 split, then give us a call, right?
Nice stuff.
Yeah, but the reality is the refinance boom ended. Now they're setting you back up, where this is just how it is. They're trying to slow the housing market, but they can't, because there's just not enough inventory. It just always comes back to that. That's the truth.
I think the major thing too is this market we're in right now is going to be a major first-time home buyer market, because this is kind of like almost our blue collar era, where a lot of people my age, 26, in their 20s to 30s, are kind of financially starting to be stable and able to purchase a home. And this is where we're going to see a lot of these blue collar people come out and start to purchase homes, and anywhere between the 200 to 400s. And that's going to be our grit and stone for the next 2 to 3 years, I think, until we start to see a little bit of kind of level off with the interest rates. And then we're going to kind of start seeing these white collar people peek their head out of the lower interest rates that they've kind of stuck their heads into. And if they can afford it, they're doing well. Yes, they overpaid, but by the time they go around to sell it, I bet you these homes are already worth it.
Oh, yeah. And it's like the 24 to 34 age group. That is the biggest push into the buyer's pool right now. I mean, you're talking over 42 million in that age bracket, where they're no longer living at home. They're ready to start making their own way. And then, but at the same time, the 42 to 60, they're also right sizing. They are now downsizing and they are making moves. And for the first time home buyers, it is really difficult for them. And that's why there's so many incentive programs out there for the first time home buyers, because you are competing with investors. That price point, you're competing with an investor, right? That has the cash flow, that's going to throw that cash at that house, that makes it look enticing. So that's why even more so working with Harvey, right, as your loan officer, if you know that you're going on a property that's, in that investment, that investor price point, And then you're a first time home buyer. We have to be so strong on our approval. We have to be so strong on our relationships. We have to be able to reach across that aisle and let everyone know, like, hey, cash is not king in this situation because you're still going to need 2 weeks to close that anyway. So if we can turn around and close that deal same as cash in 2 weeks, then give it to our first time home buyer, right? We're out here fighting for our clients, and whether they're cash or investment or whatever, the real estate agents, at the end of the day, money talks. And if you can come up top with financing for a first-time home buyer and get them in that house, that is everything. And it's just making sure everyone can see that for themselves.
248-539-9797, live here in the 97.1 studio. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Just give you 1 hour worth of some of the best real estate talk and mortgage talk here. We'll take your calls again, and we've got lots of open lines. Evan Santini joins us, one of my favorite most young, aggressive killers out there. I mean, this is what I love about real estate. When I hung out with Evan, the energy, the knowledge, the passion, not to mention the guy's dressed to kill every day. He's a true professional, and it matters. This home purchase team that you put together really matters. It's crucial. Real estate agents, great ones, play a crucial role in your success. And there's no doubt out there, Becky, look, I rub some people the wrong way. Sorry about that, folks. You might be the 90% that don't return phone calls. You might be the 90% that really you're not passionate about it. I'm sorry, I got into this thing 31 plus years ago, and that's what really gets me going every day is how can we help that next family? And again, sometimes it's their second or third house, Becky, and that's what makes it really fun. Getting that team together, having great communication, and setting people up for success. All right, we want to hear from you. Like I said, we've got some open lines here. Ev, let's talk about a little bit of the availability of the house, and give me an update on that inventory. I had some new offers. I had a pretty big writing month, so a lot of offers are getting accepted. Is there any more inventory out there, or you just got to keep to the grindstone and put some deals together?
I mean, the major thing is you got to be on your toes with this inventory that's coming up. As to touch on her point that we were talking about a little bit ago, I mean, that price point anywhere between, I mean, we don't even really see anything move-in ready at 150, but like let's say 150 all the way up to almost 350 is the gold mine right now in the whole real estate market. Any city that you're in the Tri-County area is just it's getting eaten up the second it's put on the market. If it's a move-in ready, great home. And I think that's the hardest price point to get under contract right now because of how low that inventory is. And it's because of the first-time home buyers. There is such a huge influx of them in the market. Now, I've explained this to all my buyers too. When you get up 350 to 450, you still have a little bit of competition. You're still competing with people. But the second you cross that threshold of about 500,000, it drops.
Okay.
Significantly. And I noticed that, and it's crazy. I explained that to one of my good friends who just purchased a home in Birmingham. He bought a house. It was just shy over 500,000. And
I didn't know you can get in Birmingham for just over 5.
And that's what I said to him too, because he was questioning it at first and this and that. And we were talking. I'm like, dude, this is exactly what you want. And we got the house and everything. But I explained to him, I'm like, it was above what his threshold was. He was looking up to 450. I said, look, let's kind of, he said, let's spread the budget a little bit. So we spread it up just shy over 500. And I told him, I said, look, if they price this at $499, probably would have been out of our competition. Because they priced it at that just shy over 500, it bit them.
Already, hey, that music says we're up against another break. Man, this is flying by already. It's faster than the cars out on Woodward. All right, keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. I know we got tons here to share with you. There's Lions football coming up at 1 o'clock and a whole lot more. 248-539-9797. We come back, all your calls. All right, welcome back to the show. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Again, we take your calls at 248-539-9797. Live here in the studio, coming up on our 24th year. And you can catch us at Capital Mortgage Funding throughout the week. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Salute to everyone out there on Woodward. Drive those cars safe, back off a little bit. God is blessing us with this unbelievable weather. What a great day to be living here in Southeast Michigan. I know that. Evan Santini joins us. Of course, Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate. Ev, you're always great. Let's go to our call here. We've got Fred calling in. Hey, good morning, Fred. What's your question, sir?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. What's up?
I'm trying to figure out, I got credit card bills and a couple miscellaneous bills. Never had any late payments on anything. My house is mortgage right now is about $140. Its value is probably about $220. Unfortunately, because I maxed my credit cards because I had a job transition, my credit score went down because of the credit usage. So now I'm in the low 600s from 730, 740 range. How do I get a consolidation to consolidate these bills and pay these credit cards off?
We got an answer for you.
Yeah. So we actually just had a caller earlier, and this is a conversation. First and foremost, you're not alone, right? These are conversations we have with our clients on the daily, and the reality is that life happens, and you have the credit card debts. The interest rates have been going through the roof on this, and when you're going through these life experiences, right, like you talked about, income changes a little bit, but your bills don't. So you have to do what you got to do to make sure that you are sustaining your life and making sure you're constantly putting yourself in a position where you're not late and all that. But the more debt you get, it does impact the credit scores, right? So in these kinds of situations, we're not you're sitting on the home as far as equity. You would have enough to either do a home equity line of credit or possibly do a cash out refinance. In all those situations, it's just about having the conversation to look at and see what works best for you. And I'm going to give you an example. Like I talked to a gentleman, similar situation. He even actually took out a car lease for his daughter, right? Not thinking that was going to affect his overall debt and what he could afford. And he's trying to buy another house and he decided to stay. Long story short, we ran the numbers. And even though his interest rate was at a 3.5 on the mortgage, for us to do a cash out refinance, consolidate the debt, give him one payment, he was saving $600 a month. That's huge, right? So if you can save $600 a month in that situation, turn around, apply that towards your principal, ride that out, you have one payment. And then when these rates settle down, you can always refinance again and then settle that payment down or even shorten the term at that point, right? So it's about, using going from A to B to C, but with a intention, right? We're not going to just throw something against the wall and just be like, oh, let's just do this because we want a loan. It's about, does this make sense for you now? And then what do we have to do for it to make sense in the next 3-5 years for you? So I think this is an amazing call. And I think that, once we talk with you, and I'll let Harvey, chime in, I think that we can come up with a game plan that doesn't just suit you right now, but we got to set you up for the future too.
Yeah, Fred, with a lower credit score, you might end up sort of being force your hand into an FHA mortgage. Now, it's a little bit more expensive because now you're back to that MIP, that mortgage insurance premium, even though you might be, and it's not that high of an amount, even though you might be doing an 80% cash out. But I'd like to see you consolidate, and you could even maybe drop the years, maybe get a 20-year, even a 15-year fix. So I think we do a fix for you now, and we're going to call you and run some numbers for you. And then maybe down the road when these rates drop, hopefully, Becky, sometime, there's no crystal ball. Yeah. But if there's that opportunity in the next year or two, you might even be able to better yourself. It's a great call, Fred.
Yeah, there's no point of you
struggling with those credit cards.
Stressing yourself out, getting to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not, I got to come up from air for a little bit just because you have a lower interest rate on the mortgage, for example. There's so many people that are just putting themselves in these financial disarray over this like fallacy of I have to hold on to this low interest rate on my mortgage while I'm getting pounded with my car loan interest and my credit card interest. So I love your candor. I love that you called in to share this with us. And I'm definitely going to reach out to you after the show so we can have the conversation, lay out the timeline and see what makes sense for you now, or if it's we wait a minute, or maybe we can even just address how to maybe just pay it off on your own. I mean, we're going to talk about it whether we do a transaction with you or not.
Yeah, I like that. Thanks for the call, Fred. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you, sir. Ev, love it, man. Rental properties. Again, I hate to throw it out there, but look, we got clients out there and they see the values going up. They've already bought that one house and they said, you know what? I'll buy another one. This isn't so hard. And we've even seen families like in some consolidation situations, say, you know what, I can move in over here with my buddy. I'll rent my house out, make all this money, get myself back on my feet. Let's talk about these rentals. What makes a good rental investment? The attractive neighborhoods, the walkable neighborhoods, convenient amenities, sense of community, getting into an area that renters are going to want to rent from with better schools and everything that's involved in somebody saying, hey, I want to live in that area.
Well, I think the big thing is about a rental when you're looking at a rental is, I know from my aspect, when you're walking in showing clients a rental, the major thing is it's clean, it's nice, it's somewhat updated. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it has to at least be like a 3-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, 2 full bathroom. I feel like these people are completely running away from the one baths. I feel like we're done with one bath houses. Okay. I mean, even 1.5 bath houses. Like I feel like everybody is just done with that. I mean, I grew up in a 3-bed, 1-bath house, and it was horrific. A family of 5 sharing one bathroom was horrific.
Like so to that point, right? So I grew up, and just to pull it back in there. So I grew up in a bungalow, right? There are 6 of us, and my dad always says that on his tombstone, he wants it to say, "Love is 6 people in one bathroom." Right?
Oh, so, that is love.
Like, yeah,
nice.
So it's like, but as you grow up, because you experience that, you're like, now I want all the toilets, right? Because you experience that. It was like a shift getting people in and out of the bathroom when you're getting ready. But go ahead. Sorry.
It wasn't even a shift. It's like you have the kitchen table right outside the bathroom, and you have a whole line, the whole family every morning waiting in to use the whole bathroom. Who gets it first? Who gets it second? And it's always an argument. And that's why I think big time today, that's why everybody always wants that 2 full bathrooms. I mean, the half bath adds that extra, toilet seat, but you kind of want to be able to have multiple people get ready at one time. Mm-hmm. But the crazy part is, we touched on it earlier, is these 2 plus bath, 2 plus bedroom homes are like becoming out of reach for the average person to rent if they can't purchase, which is a little crazy too in my eyes too. I mean, a 2-bed, 2-bath goes for near $2,000 right now in a decent area. I mean, obviously you can go live in, some area with a 2-bed, 2-bath that you might get for, $1,200. It's not nice. I mean, the first house I got was in Rochester. I rented it $1,350 a month for a 2-bed, 2-bath.
You were making money on it at the time.
No, it was my first place. I moved out when I was 19. I mean, $1,350 a month. And that was in 2018. You
could have bought a place, then you'd be sitting on another gold mine, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, again, having professional people, you're walking through the house. Okay, there's a basement, and if you're going to overpay for a house, well, maybe you can step back and say, well, wait a minute here. Instead of overpaying and getting that 2-bath, maybe I can build a bathroom in the basement. Maybe I can, put an egress window in here and build another bedroom. So again, having some conversations about different things that you can do and how the money works. You have to have a perspective. You have to have professional people that know what it costs to even build a bathroom, build a bedroom, finish a basement. You got to have some education.
Well, and I think too, a major thing is having knowledge. That's what I always pitch to anybody in our office, is having knowledge about the product that you're selling, the home that you're selling, what it might cost to get a new item added into your home, or what it might cost to get a bathroom done, a furnace done, a roof done. Having that knowledge to educate your client helps them to put that offer together, or maybe get the foot in the door to write that offer, or it just helps them out and gives them more ease of mind that you know what you're talking about. You're pointing out things that when they're buying that home for the first time is going to be something they are going to have to maintain.
You have to start somewhere, right? And so it's almost like that picture of the iceberg, right? And you just see it peeking out of the water, right? But you don't see everything underneath it.
Right.
There's a lot of newer people coming into the market that are wanting to now be investors, build that real estate portfolio, right? And all they see is the person that's got the 17 real estate the real estate properties, right? So, we can set you up on the game plan on how you can build that real estate portfolio, but do it the right way.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk about some down payment assistance programs. What county do you live in? We'll try to touch on some of the different programs all around Southeast Michigan. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Again, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. In our 24th year, coming up in January, Becky.
We're about to
24
be
years we've been doing this.
half a century old
Jeez
up in here on the radio.
Just giving you advice about mortgages and
Or
real
half
estate.
half of 50 years. What?
We'll go back to that decade. Coming up on 2.5 decades. Okay, we'll go with that one. Evan Santini joins us. Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate. Love your office. I love all the people there, but you're one of my favorites now. That's okay. I'll tell Cameron later that he's dropping down a notch. They're all dropping down a notch, Evan. It's just you. Hey, Ev, you got some cool stuff happening in your life. There's a wedding reception at your house. What's going on here?
Yeah, tonight my brother Dominic Santini, Emma Santini are officially celebrating their marriage. We were in Maine last year to fully, I guess you call it, get married, and then we're celebrating. We're having a big family event at my family's house this afternoon, and it's going
Snaps
to be
for that.
absolutely amazing. We're excited for them.
I already
Yay.
have plans, but if not, I would have come by there for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
But
how
that
do you be
sounds
the wedding
exciting.
crashers?
Cheers to your brother for
Yeah.
sure, and his
Thank you.
wife and your family, and congratulations, of course. That's nice.
Thank
You're
you.
having it at your place because you're on the water. It's sort of a nice little
No,
venue.
we're having it at my parents' place.
Oh wow, okay,
Yes.
all right. Who's cleaning up? You're not on the cleanup crew though. You're just showing up. You're doing the toast.
Well, I'll probably end up staying there tonight, and that means I'll probably end up having to help clean up in the morning.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's how it
That's
goes.
what we want to hear.
Kicking
All
the
right.
beer cans away.
248-539-9797. Hey, Becky, you got a little ticket text here about some grants. We always talk about down payment assistance. Let's throw a little bit of that information out there.
Yeah, we had a ticket text asking if there's any grants available in Monroe County, and the answer is yes. There, you can actually. There's some counties or there's some cities that are specific that you can get more money if you're looking in a specific city, like Detroit. Right now, you can get up to $25,000 if you live in Detroit. You're buying in Detroit. Westland, Livonia. There's also additional incentives for those specific cities, but it's a very specific. You got to fit in this box or you don't as far as income levels. The other one that's more important is through MIJDA, where any county, you can get up to $10,000 if you're a first-time home buyer. They've actually even opened up the doors a little bit where now you only have to household credit income or income qualify. So meaning that if you and your spouse, let's just say you bought a house, your spouse bought a house before you got married, and they're not a first-time home buyer, but you are, you can actually go on the loan by yourself. They would have to credit qualify or income qualify with you, and you can actually still get that $10,000, which is huge because it used to be where everyone in the house had to be a first-time home buyer, and now it's not like that. And the reason for that is because they're opening up the doors because they understand that it's really crucial to make it easier for first-time home buyers to compete with these repeat buyers, these investment, people. You got to make sure that you are having the conversations with the right people because not everyone offers this program. So whether you're in Monroe County, Oakland County, Wayne County, Genesee County, you have potential to qualify for this $10,000 money that is going to help you take your life to the next level. It's life-changing and for some of these people that never thought they could buy, because the truth is that 90% of the people that we talk to, it's not the payment, right? So people get tripped up on these interest rates that we talked about. Oh my God, the interest rate is so high. If you can afford $2,500 in rent, you can afford $2,000 on your own mortgage payment. The interest rate is irrelevant. We're going to curtail the price point based off what you can afford. But in reality, it's the funds for closing that really keeps people sidelined because they were not budgeting, they were not investing in themselves. So if you can get into this house or a house with $10,000 on a program that we offer for you, why not? But it all starts with a conversation.
All right, here's some optimistic information. Daniel Hale, chief economist for Realtor.com, expects interest rates to settle between 5.5% and 6% by the end of 2023. I just wrote next to that, I wrote, okay, sounds good to me. That
Believe it
sounds
when I
good.
see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to call her back and say, hey, that didn't happen, but maybe she's off by
They'd have to,
6 months, maybe a year.
Yeah, these rates would have to Thelma and Louise off a cliff to
that would
we're
be good.
halfway there. So
Ev, a couple of good things here before we get out of here. Making improvements to a house. That's one of the things the sellers do. They want to get the maximum out. You need some professional like you. Of course, you're in and out of so many different housing opportunities for families, and everyone's got a little bit different perspective. Someone needs an updated kitchen. Someone wants to do their own kitchen anyways. What are some of the improvements that people should make or shouldn't make? What substantial improvements? What do you see the money and what people really need to do to really squeeze the money out without investing too much in the house that they're going to be leaving?
That's it's a hard question to answer because it varies between every different house. The major things that I tend to see are draws to buyers is when we're walking through these homes, they want it to be as close into move-in ready as possible. So when you mention a kitchen, which is probably going to be one of your most expensive renovations, I would recommend probably doing your kitchen over a bathroom, because the kitchen's going to be your most expensive. It's the most grueling one because you're out your whole life basically. Well, that kitchen is gone. You can't cook. You're eating out for months on end, depending on how long it takes. Cause you know how contractors are these days too. It's hard to get a good qualified person getting it done quick. I would always recommend your kitchen and making sure it's just move in ready. Good colors, not, yellows or purples. I've seen houses
you lose the appeal when you do those kind of things. Yeah.
What color is that? It's autumn sunrise.
That's a pretty color.
But kitchens are where people hang out. I mean, most families hang out in the kitchen, right? You're cooking, you're talking, you're doing all that. And, so I don't disagree with that. A kitchen, it's also, like you said, it's a big ticket item. And, but to answer that question, like with Harvey, it's, we're going to be like, what should I do? What should I not do? You need to do what's best for you, right? If you want to finish the basement because you're going to hang out there in between whether you decide you're going to stay or go, do it for yourself. Sometimes you can't do things for the payback because you're never going to get your money back on any really thing that you improve your house on, right? So if you're trying to do minimum, paint the cabinets, don't do a total redo. But if you know that you're going to be there for 5-10 years, and just do it. Like if you over improve your house, but for the quality of life that you have for your family, you can't put a price on that.
I agree.
Sometimes you see people blacking out those basements. Other people spend a little more money, do the drop ceiling. Other people do a drywall ceiling. These are all decisions you can make. Make it nice for the way you want to live.
You brought up a great point with the basements. I feel like we should just get rid of the whole drop ceilings, the whole drywall ceilings. It should just be sprayed paint black because it makes it easy. It looks great. It gets that extra ceiling height. But not only that, what happens when something's wrong with your house? Right. You can't catch it as fast as if you have the ceilings there or you have the drywall there. I mean, if you have water leaking or something, you're not going to catch it as fast as if the ceiling's wide open.
Yep.
And it makes it easier on any new home buyer. And that's something I always point out to all my people is keeps maintenance easy.
I like it on the older houses more so. Of course, when you're up there in $400,000 or $500,000, they're going to finish these walkout basements like they're the other parts of the house.
Yeah.
And they're just going to look like the Taj Mahal. I mean, no doubt about it, Beck. If you haven't finished your basement, I finished one once. I don't know. I think I finished 2,000 square feet. It was like having a carpeted soccer field down there. But I had the kitchen and the garbage disposal and the dishwasher and the bathroom down there. Again, decide what you want to spend for your own lifestyle.
Yeah, my basement is done and it is polished and it is a very good vibe down there.
That's a hangout space.
Yeah, it is for sure. But it's that extra living space. But I did the blackout ceiling. I didn't drop it. My other house had the drop ceiling in there. The previous owners did it. And you're right. Like there was a situation with the bathroom, there's plumbing. And then, so it's like, you got to move that stuff around and get to it. And, at least if it's blackout, you do it, you don't see it, right? It kind of it gives you that added ceiling space, but it is easy to identify if there's a situation. You can cut it off immediately. But basement, if you have Michigan, we have basements. It is what it is. And some places don't. But I love our basement. It's chill. We go down there, watch movies. There's a bar down there. But you can make it your own. And a lot of people finish their basements during COVID, right? All of a sudden, everyone's at home. So you need people were desperate for that extra living space. Yeah. So all of a sudden, the dungeon basement became Taj Mahal basement.
There you go.
My grandma calls it Shangri-La.
Oh, paradise. Yeah. All right. Hey, you know what? We had a caller there. We dropped off. We're getting closer to the end of the show. Again, if you want to reach us at Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE throughout the week. We're always here to meet with you. Becky mentioned at the beginning of the show, we are doing some things going back to old school. And again, because there's so many buyers in that price and that age group of 26 to about 34. And we know a lot of families aren't as confident as they need to be. Again, there's nothing wrong with stepping back and just building that confidence up. So we are inviting people back with one-on-one meetings. If you want to meet at the local coffee shop, if you want to come to our office, we can gather all your documentation. And Becky, it's no obligation. It's free. We don't take hostage money. What we do is get you set up for success.
Yeah, you can't be a loan officer in this market and just be winging it, right? We're at this point in our careers over at Capital Mortgage Funding where we have worked for what we have. And, we know how to have the conversations. We know how to set you up for success, but it's not a dictatorship. We're going to give you the options and we're going to make sure that you're making the decision that works best for you no matter what.
All right, the great Evan Santini, there he is.
Thanks for having me, Harvey. It's been awesome.
I just like hanging out with you, man.
It's fun every time.
I'm
We have a
almost
blast.
double your age, but you're a cool guy, and more importantly, you're a great real estate agent. Hey, if you guys want the best real estate agents, get in touch with us at Capital Mortgage Funding. We'll get you set up with the experienced teams, the knowledge, the hardworking negotiators out there. That's what you need nowadays in this tougher market. And I'll let you go now because we've got sports coming up here. Keep it on 97.1 The Ticket. Carson Anderson out at Nikki D's. We will see you next Saturday.